All right, so good morning and welcome to an impromptu kind of a Tuesday news on a Thursday morning. Today we will be working with Miss Bullwood over at Lindley 7/8. She's been so gracious to help me to understand how to use an Excel through our Office 365 as a way of tracking all of our parent data. So in today's lesson, I just wanted to kind of clear up one misconception. The one misconception is that we are no longer going to send hard copy surveys. That's not true. We are definitely going to send a hard copy survey with every student. That's a requirement. Um, So the optional portion of the survey is to have an electronic survey available for the parents. If you're not ready to do that, I definitely understand. That's something we can talk about the next time we have an opportunity for surveys. However, when we receive those tallied results and it's lots of check marks, it's very hard for our office to really interpret that data and interpret that information because we have to kind of go back and recount it and kind of find out where things are. So what we're asking is that if each school will use a platform, it doesn't matter which one, we're going to do a lesson on the Excel, but if each school will actually create an online survey, then as you receive your surveys from your parents, you as the parent facilitator can go into the online portion and put in all the parents' information. So when you're finished at the end of the month, you're not tallying all of those results back. You can just simply click the button, it'll tally it for you, and then you can send me or our office that tallied copy for us to review. And the reason we like it that way is in June, when we have our second opportunity for input for the entire district, we're going to want to have those surveys from all 45 campuses to give to the participants so they can see what all of the parents are asking. But right now, we're not able to really utilize the data for the review of our policies and our compacts because it's just handwritten. So I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm going to let Insure walk us through the steps of how to do that. Does anyone have any questions, or is anyone still unclear about hard copy surveys being sent home and about the about having an optional electronic survey? Does anyone have questions for that?
I just want to be clear that on what I'm hearing. So basically, the survey, and good morning, I'm sorry. Um, so basically, the survey that we created last week, we're just going to learn today how to drop that in so that it'll be online. We're not creating an entire new survey, correct?
That is correct. That's a
Uh,
great question.
All right.
I have a question, Shanda Marshall at Bernie. Will you be, um, have you looked over everybody's to approve them, to let us know if they're okay to go out?
Pretty much everyone. I had a couple of people, I think Chandra, you may have been one of them, that emailed me the survey and did not have it online. Is that correct?
Yes, and I put it online.
Okay, so now I'll go back and look at it. So just waiting
Okay.
for those to get up on, but I'll do that right after this.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Perfect.
This is Liliana Tovar from Hollydale. I couldn't send in the downloaded the survey online because I didn't receive the approval of my principal yet,
Okay.
and so I will tomorrow in the morning.
Okay.
Okay,
No
thank
problem.
you.
Just, when you send it, just send me a message to the help desk and say, Nat, check online, and I'll look up there.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Natalie, one last question. So what, the survey that we put on there last week, I
Mhm.
know mine wasn't on letterhead. So now it's been approved to be, so I can put it on letterhead. Do you need us to go back in and put that letterhead one on, or is the one that we have on there okay?
That's fine. I know sometimes people can't upload their letterhead because it's, a different, you run it on the copy of the letterhead. So that's fine. I just want to let you know that it needs to go out on letterhead.
Okay, thank you.
Natalie, this is Terry at Milford. Is it possible to send it to the oldest sibling in the school, or does each student need to receive a survey?
I am comfortable with you sending it to the oldest student in the school. That way parents get one survey.
Perfect. Thank you.
I would definitely follow that up, however, with a call out, today the surveys are going home. Please look for your family, survey so they can know to look for that one.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. All right, it looks like we're all clear. I am going to go ahead and take my camera off. We're going to continue to record. And Ms. Fullwood, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. A little technical difficulty at the beginning, but has everyone had a chance to print off a copy of this packet?
Yes, power sphere, yes.
Yes. Okay, that's all I'm going to be going through. The first thing that I did when I started this process was read through the packet and say, okay, first of all, it's not that long. So that was always a good sign, because by no way am I an Excel guru or genius at Excel. So it made it very user friendly. So what everyone needs to do is log into their Office 365. If you go to the Cobb County website, I have it bookmarked. Can everyone see my desktop?
Power sphere, no, I can't see it.
No, I can't.
No, I can't see it. I can't see anything.
I don't see your desktop in Sheree. When you
Okay.
go down to the present, the TV button,
Mm-hmm.
and then the very top one says present desktop, it should ask you, do you really want to share your desktop? There you go.
Okay.
Now we can see it.
You see me moving my mouse around?
Yes.
Okay. So I went to the Cobb County website, clicked on employees, and then did Office 365 login. And you
All right, we'll
just,
give you guys a few minutes. Everybody get there, and then we'll give you a few minutes to get there before we keep
I'm
going.
having problems with my Office 365, so I can't pull it up right now. They're working on it.
The same with power sphere.
you actually already have access. If you just use whatever your email address is and the password that you're using when you log on to the network for the very first time, to get on the system, it's the same password. You really didn't have to
Mine
do anything
doesn't
to
work.
set it up.
Mine won't work because we tried to do it for something here last week and it wouldn't work. So they had to put in a work order and they haven't fixed it yet.
Okay.
We did have a few staff members who came on this year that they had to go back and add into the system. If you guys aren't making any success with that by maybe Monday, send me something through the help desk and let me see if I can help move that process along.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So the next thing I did was just follow the instructions in the packet. I went to Excel. Okay. Just opened up Excel online. And I just did new blank worksheet. Okay. And there's a little button right here that says survey. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
So I clicked new survey. And then I minimized this screen and went into my file storage.
I'm
And
sorry, Najiri. I'm so sorry. I'm moving like snail. Okay, can you back up just for 1 second on the login? What did you say? Is it our district account or we have to create one?
Your login is going to be your kiva.hammond@cobbk12.org.
Okay.
And whatever your password is to get on your email, to get on your laptop, whatever that password is, that's what you're going to put in right there.
Okay. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Please stop me at any time. This is not formal. This is just colleague to colleague.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So once we got to the Office 365 screen, we selected Excel Online.
Excel on, okay,
You see that?
see it.
And then I'll come back out of this. The next drop down is the survey button.
Don't see survey button.
It's you see all of your toolbars across the top.
What I see is what's new, and I guess maybe I need to just click got it on those. Okay. Mm-mm.
It's under your home screen tab right here. Survey new.
I don't have that either. I don't have that choice, that option.
Okay. I never thought about that problem. Let me go back out and close out this tab. Do you have this screen? Does everyone have this screen when they log in?
Could you repeat what we log in first?
I have that screen, but then I don't have the next screen.
Excel Online.
The same problem here. I have the first screen, I don't have the second.
Okay, insurance.
Please going back and start for the first login.
That's fine. Insurance. Go back to your tab that says Office 365.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now you guys see the very top left hand with the 9 little squares at the very top in the blue?
Yes.
Click there.
I don't. Okay. I need to go back.
If you click there, you should have Excel.
Okay. I'm trying to go back.
Right, don't click it yet. Just hover over that 9 little squares so they can see. If you hover over that 9 little squares, then you'll see the Excel pop up.
Where? Right here?
No, right here.
Right here.
And go back to Office 365.
Okay. Thank you. Look, I think you should sit down with me.
Gotta go.
Okay. Because you are helping me. Thank you.
All right.
No.
Yeah, if you need me though.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Were you guys able to find Excel that way?
I'm in Excel that way.
Okay.
I am too, but I still can't find
That other part.
Natalie, could you please let us know what is the first step that we have to cover? It is CAF page and then district.
Under it's
Employees.
the CAF website, employees, Office 365 login.
I'm typing it.
In the meantime, if everyone else can go ahead on and open up your Microsoft Word document of your survey so that because you're going to go back and forth between both documents.
And I do understand that it's going to be a little bit of time because you're trying to watch her screen and then you're trying to have those 2 documents open. So we're going to slow down just a little bit so that you can minimize our screen on Skype and go ahead and pull up your Excel survey and your regular survey that's on your desktop or wherever you have it saved so that you have both of those items. Because once we get to a place where you're able to open up an Excel survey online, then we're just going to simply be copying back and forth. So this is probably the most work is actually getting to the survey.
Correct. Thank you, Ms. Hutchins.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to give everybody maybe about just 2 or 3 minutes to get those 2 documents open. If anybody needs a little bit more time, just type in the box. You don't have to take yourself off mute. Just tell me if you need 1 more minute or are we ready?
Well, I'm just writing everything down. So it's going to Office 365, then Excel Online, and then to survey. That's where we stopped, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. because I can't get in Office 365 yet.
Are we ready to click the survey button?
I think we're ready to go. I'm monitoring your messaging for you, Insure, and I think we're all good.
Okay, great. So after I click the survey button, I'm going to click on New Survey, and this is what pops open. And from here, you want to move to the bottom of your screen and pull open your Word document. So you're just going to be minimizing this document, cutting and pasting, and copying everything back and forth. So the easiest thing for me to copy was all of this. And I just hit my button Control C, which is the quickest way for me to copy. Some people use their mouse and do a right click and select copy. Go back to the internet and see where it says enter your title for the survey. I hit Control V as in Victor, and it'll populate all of that writing. I'll just go in and I'll say, okay, it's showing an error for that word. I just don't like to see those red lines. So I just keep everything there. The date is everything is correct. So I go to my next box. Has everyone been able to do that?
Give us a second to try it.
Okay, definitely.
Did you go to your Word document just from your folders, or did you go to one of the bottom options? I had gone already and done it, but I went through the folders versus the little option down at the bottom.
Okay.
To go through the share survey, save view, or just open up the document?
I just opened up my document. I went into my personal file, my home drive, and opened up the document. That's why I have this Word icon down here. So for me, that's the easiest way. I know I'm working with Excel online, so I'm just going back and forth between my Internet Explorer icon and my Word icon. And I'm just copying and pasting.
Okay, I have a question because mine comes out pretty long. How do I adjust it?
It just depends on what you copy. Like for me, I discovered that, and it says in the title portion to just put my school's, title on there, everything that was in bold at the top. The Dear Parents portion is going to be enter the description of your survey. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to put my first question down, in the first question box. And it's just that easy. You don't have to put all of that. But if you choose to, it'll show it just that way. Like your description, there is a space right here for the description. So when I go back into my survey, the next thing I'm going to copy is Dear Parents, this portion right here. And then I'm going to copy it, go back into Excel, and I'm going to paste it here. And it puts it there. Okay, and it kind of fixes itself after you hit paste. It'll show you that's how it's going to look.
Okay, because mine isn't looking like that. So let me try this again. Let me just erase what I've tried to do and try to do it again.
Chandra, is it in the description or is it in the title heading?
It's in the title.
Because you can,
But maybe I did it. I guess I just did it wrong because it
but it's
asks for.
okay. But everybody kind of has different font. So if that's too hard for you to copy and paste because it comes out all wonky, just type it in. You can type in, Hendricks Elementary School, one team, one goal, parent survey. You can type that. It's just
Okay.
easier to copy and paste it, but you can type in any of these boxes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the hardest thing, which isn't hard at all, but to me it was a little challenging, was when I get to my questions. So, just through experience, I've learned that you want everything to be a matter of choice. No matter, even if you have a yes or no question, you want everything to be a matter of choice. You don't want to copy the numbers. I just found that was just easier for me not to do because, it's in order. So once you get to this box, you click on the question right here, and then you paste your question there. And your response type is always going to be choice. No matter what you have for the type of question you have, choice is always what you want to do, because if you say yes or no, it's going to always default to a yes no matter what, and you can't change that. So I didn't want to do that. So always pick response type choice and then put your choices in. For me, I just cut and paste my choices. And then you just have to move them to a different line. I am going to slow down so you guys can get that part for your first question. And we'll do 4 questions, 4 different types of questions. The biggest thing is when you do it, you just want to make sure you have it right here. You don't want to have that spacing there. So that's the thing about cutting and pasting. You just want to make sure that the formatting is correct. Everybody starts at the line, and then I hit done. And just so you know, I'm going to say save and view. I just want to see how it's looking so far. I'm just curious to see what my parents are going to see. So here's my title. Here's the description. And then here's the very first question. I'm sorry. How welcome does the front office staff at Lindley Middle School makes you feel when you come into the main office? And then they have those choices right there. I say, okay, that looks pretty good. But I did want to edit the survey because I forgot one thing. So I just clicked the edit button. And right here, I want to make that a required question, because I want them to answer those questions. I'm not going to make every question required, but these are just simple questions that everybody should be able to answer, and it'll give me more information and more input from my parents about what's going on here in our building. I'll stop right here to see if there are any questions and give you all a chance to try to make that first question your title and your description. And see if there are any questions.
Something we put in the question subtitle box.
Okay. Natalie, do you think we can go on to another type of question?
How do you guys feel? I know and Sheree would like to do 4 with us. So if you didn't get the hang of just that one, we're gonna do a couple more, and then again we are recording, so you can watch this on playback. And the steps are in the PowerPoint that she has. So I would definitely, recommend printing that PowerPoint out as you're doing this, so that you have an opportunity to look back and forth. Are we okay with going to the next one?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So now I'm going to click on add a new question. Since I have a question that utilizes the options not at all, minimally, quite a bit, in a tremendous amount, and then of course never, once or twice, every few months, it's the same type of question. But what about a question like, please check any of the following that would help you participate more in school functions and activities? A question where they're like checking choices. So the way you want to present that question is, I would pick up the question and I would say, instead of saying please check, I would say which of the following activities, because of course paper and pencil is going to be different from the actual drop down. So I post the question there, and I just want to make sure it makes sense electronically. I'm going to say, please select any of the following that would help you participate more often in school functions, activities, and planning events. And then I'm going to put the very first choice in the question subtitle. So my first choice was transportation provided. If you go back, I'm looking at a soft copy and a hard copy, the electronic copy and a hard copy. So all of these, I think it's going to take me more time to cut and paste. So I'll cut and paste this first one, but then I'm going to just go ahead on and type the rest of them in. Does everybody follow? And I'm going to make this, even though it's a yes/no question, I'm going to choose choice and make it required, and I'm just going to say yes, no. And the reason why I do that is because if you select yes, no, when you go to view the question, it's going to default to yes. So if they don't answer it, everyone's answer is going to be yes. And I can't make it a required question without a default. So that was just one of the little things that I found was easier, just to make every question a choice and you type your choices. So to keep that question going so that it keeps up with it, I'm not going to put my next choice in the question. I'm going to keep it as the question subtitle because I don't want it to be a bold writing as if it's a different question. Since this is a continuation of that first question, I'm going to add child care provided. I'm going to say choice. Yes. No. I'm going to make it required, and then I'm going to be done. And if you notice, it just looks like a continuation of this question when you put your answer in the subtitle portion as opposed to the actual question portion. And that's how you would do a question that has multiple portions. Does that make sense?
She did. Did you? Sorry.
You have to delete the word question or it'll show up there. And you're going to say choice, make it required, and you're going to hit yes or no and hit done. And this is how you would do a question that has multiple portions. So since we're on this type of question, I would add all the rest of the options for yes and no. But then there's another option that says other. This is a question that we want them to be able to add some writing if they choose to. So it's a text. The response type is text. I'm not going to make it required. And that's all I'm going to say for that one. Done. So that when the parents or your community members are providing you input, they can write something down, but they don't have to. You don't want them to have to be able to write something down if they don't want to, because then they'll just stop the survey on you. You won't get any further input. And I'm always curious to just see how it's looking. I don't want to get to the very end and have to go back and make changes. So I'll just stop and say save and view. How did I get around that? Let me go back into my original survey to see how I got around that one feature. So this is a time that everyone can be checking their surveys and adding some questions. I just need to go back and check one more thing. Oh, I kept it bold. That's what I had to do. Yeah. Okay, so that was a learning experience for myself. Okay, so we're back here, and you're gonna have to put those questions up at the top, because it won't let you save it that way. Okay, and I'm sorry about that. I hate that I didn't have that part accurate for you. But again, you have to put it in the top part for it to save. Okay, so I would just go down here and add the next question, translation services provided. Click yes or no. I'm sorry, messing up again. Click choice, make it required, and then yes or no. Okay, and then that next type of question is the open-ended question, and then that's other, and that's when you want them to have text. You don't want to make it required, and you want it to be done. So when we view the survey, you all can see how it's looking so far. And they just would go here and type their responses. Any questions so far?
I think you've done a great job. It's just, I think we have to just play with it because as you're talking, I'm able to see things and do things. So I think we just have to play with it. You've done an excellent job of explaining.
Thank you so much because I really feel like I'm just not doing a great job over here. But I will tell you this, once you get in there and start keystroking it for yourself, you're going to find that it's so easy and it's going to just help you tremendously because having to hand tabulate those survey results is just, it takes so much time. So this is a lot easier. And even if we still have time to put it out to your parents electronically once you get it done. I'm in the process of getting my Spanish one done today so that I can send it out to my Spanish speaking parents so that I can get their input. And, you know, it's just a great tool. And the only other things that I can think about that I came up with a challenge was just making sure that you don't check required because I have a test group of parents that volunteer with me and I sent the survey out to them to try it out to just make sure it was, you know, it had a good flow to it, and they all said that it was really good, and they liked the fact that they didn't have to answer every last question because, you know, it can seem long, and if even when you get your paper copies back, they don't answer all the questions all the time.
I have a
That being
question.
the
Is this
case,
for tally purposes? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Maria. Hang on.
Is
I was
this
going to say
yeah.
before everybody, before we are dismissed, Insure, I would two things. One, I would love for you to show us how you completed this so that it comes up with a link so that we can have the link for parents. If you'll show us how to do that, because that's something I still don't know how to do. And so I know the other staff members would like to know how to actually get a usable link. And the other thing I was going to say was, as far as the required questions, ensure that the 1% parent involvement is one of the first questions you guys send out and make that required. So maybe if you have 10, 15, or 20 questions, you can select maybe the 5 ones that are the most important or, you know, the 7 that are most important to your school and make those required, and then have the rest of them come after the required set of questions. That's a good point because that is very long, but you definitely want to know how to use those funds, and you definitely want to know if what you're doing at your school works for your parents. So those are just 2 things that I was thinking about, you know, as we were going through the required questions, is that will make it a lot. And what happens is if you don't answer all the required questions, the survey won't go through. So you definitely want to ensure that you're going to actually get a survey, you know, completed. So maybe just the first few that are really important to your school are required. Ensure that one of those is the 1% parent involvement. Maybe make that the second or third question right at the top before people get tired. And then Jeray, if you'll show us the link. And this has been very helpful because I actually have never used our tool, and I plan on using this for the district survey. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Insure, for your time and your expertise and just helping us get into this space. All right, Maria.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to close with. So let's just go ahead and add that 1% question just so that we can have a visual documentation for it. So I'm going to scroll down, and my 1% question is about here. Can everyone still see the screen?
We can see it.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to cut and paste that, go back into my survey, hit edit, and I'm going to put it there. And the very first thing I'm going to check is required, okay? I'm going to leave it as text, and that's it. It's done. And we just want to make sure that it's there. It kind of looks pretty long, and I think when I looked at my sharing view, this was one other thing I wanted to show you. You want to make sure it looks like what you have. So as you can see, it's been cut off, correct? So you don't want that. So I'm going to go in and just kind of change the wording a little bit just to kind of make it a little smaller. So I asked myself, our school. I'm going to just say LMS because that's going to give me a little bit more room, and it's still saying the same thing. At this point, the parents know that they're taking a survey for Lindley Middle School, and I say Lindley Middle School is required to set aside 1% of the Title I money we receive for parental involvement, and it goes through. and then it's still cutting off a little bit. So I'm going to say, what else? You just have to edit the questions a little bit.
And you can really shorten that because you're giving them a lot of information. And personally, I would just say, you don't even have to say Lindley anymore. You can just say, how would you like the 1% parent involvement used? Done.
Right. But another strategy that I also used was I just used my little subtitle line. Okay. So I go back in and I said, okay, I can put it here with my question subtitle. And boom, I can get my question done like that. So you see how it looks? And that's how you can do it.
Very smart. I hadn't thought of that.
Okay. So at the end of my survey, I said, let me just view it myself, make sure that everything looks good. I always want to just verify that everything's there. If you went capital letter at the beginning, you want to make sure everything's there. If you did all capital letters, you just want to kind of be consistent, just so that it looks crisp when parents are doing it. And everything, it would tell you if it had any spelling errors, and everything's there. So my survey looks really good. I feel happy about it. So this is my next step. I'm going to go a little slow with this because I'm talking you through it, because this will only be my second time doing it. So the next thing I do is I'm still following my instructions with the packet that we have, okay? So I want to click on Share Survey, okay? And it's going to give you a link. The very first thing that I want to do with this link is I want to save it, okay? So I'm going to do Control-C. I want to copy it. I'm going to go to the internet and open up Tiny URL. Just any website that'll give you a tiny URL. tinyurl.com is perfect. Then I'm going to paste that website in there and click on Make Tiny URL. And here it is. This is your tiny URL. So then I copy that one into just a blank Word document. And just so I know it's safe, I put it there. I minimize that screen, and then I go back, and I want to also make a QR code. So I went to google.com and I did QR code generator. Okay. So I put that in there, and I think I went with something that said free, of course. Put my website in there and did create QR code. And it's the one that I first signed up for, it sent me an email with my QR code there once it created it for me. Any of these websites will do it for you. So once it sent me an email, I was able to put it all on my web page, the school's website. So some people would rather just take a picture. Some people would rather just click on the link when we send it out in an email and all that good stuff. I don't want to save this survey because I already have one saved, so to speak, in my file, and I'll let you all see that. And I think I've already started getting results.
And Jeray, I know you don't want to save it, but will you go through the steps of saving, please, if you haven't already? Did you click it off? No, it's still up there.
No, it's still.
And we can. Why don't you maybe save it Skype tutorials or survey, something like that? So we'll.
Okay. That's why you're so smart, Miss Natalie. Okay.
Working for y'all. Working for y'all.
Okay, so we're gonna save this as Skype. Let's just call it survey tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna save that one, and now it's there. And the good part about working in Office 365 is everything is saved automatically. Every keystroke automatically saved. Well, that's in theory. That's how it's supposed to happen, but that's what happens. So I'm going to go to my OneDrive, and I'm going to open my actual survey. That's my Spanish. This is the one that I did a couple of days ago. And this is what it looks like. I have 5 people. Oh, 6. I have 6 people that have already done my survey. which is a lot considering I'm officially sending it out to all of my parents on tomorrow through an email link, a paper copy home, a text link, QR code on the website, you know, all that kind of stuff. So this was just from this group of parents that I sent out asking them to do it. Another handy trick that I use is whenever I have a new email, like when parents reply to me, I have of course it's not showing up now, but I have a signature that says survey, and this is what I'll say. I'll just add that survey link to my signature at the bottom, and so every time I close out an email to a parent, it's just a little gentle reminder. If you have time, if you haven't done so already, here's the link to my survey. So that's always really helpful. Of course, it's not showing up, but it's there when I'm not logged in this way. So that's just another handy trick that I use. And let me see this other part right here.
And Sheree, is this something that our media specialist could do with adding it to the website?
Whoever updates your website.
Okay.
For me, it's our Spanish teacher. She's a part of a technology team here in the building. So she does all of the updating of the website and any updates that we need to have done school-wide. That's who our contact person is. It's one of those things that I really want to learn how to do, but it's just like having access to the calling system. You have to go through a training to get to get a link, a password, and a username that works in that program. So I just haven't been able to get time to do that part.
Okay.
Yeah. The way you're going to tabulate your results is just you're going to use, it's already filtered for you in Excel. So you're just going to look at the number of people that answer the questions in that order, and you can sort and filter, in ascending order, descending order, and it'll keep it that way. And that's how you want to look back at your results. But that's like a whole nother set. Let's get the survey set up, and then we can come back and talk about how we did the results.
I agree. We can do a results session. Maybe this is due April 30th, right? So maybe the week before that Tuesday, or maybe an impromptu Thursday again, we can schedule another 10-15 opportunity to actually go in and do the surveys. And I do want to mention that this is one way to get the surveys. We have some schools that are using SurveyMonkey already. If you already have a tool that is electronic, you by means, use the tool that you are most comfortable with. But Office 365 is a free tool that the district is providing. And it is an opportunity for us to begin to play with it and use it and really get familiar with it as we continue to grow and stretch ourselves to be able to use technology in a variety of ways to help our workload. So I know that some people have asked me about Google, and they're doing their surveys through Google. That's acceptable. SurveyMonkey is acceptable, and there was a couple of other ones. So I just want to reiterate that this is an amazing opportunity, and there's not a limit to the responses that you get. And like our high schools have 2,000 students, so they're sending out a lot of surveys. So we, tallying hundreds of surveys, and literally, I think I told you last year I had 4,800 to tally. I developed ours in Google Drive because I needed a way to manage all of that. So I'm really appreciative. Insure actually just sent hers to me the other day, so I said, oh my goodness, this is so great. It's a tool I haven't used before. Would you mind sharing it with the rest of our staff members? So thank you, Insure, for just taking a risk, using it, and being willing to share with everybody else. I think everybody's learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I'm going to go back and play with mine in Excel this year and not in Google. So
all right. And I do want to add, I don't mind helping you guys out. If you take a screenshot and email it to me, your screenshot, you just hit print screen and then copy, Control C, and send it to me. I'll be more than happy to try to see what I can do. Or you can share your survey with me and I can look into it and see if it's something that I can help you fix or something like that. I don't mind doing that kind of stuff.
And also,
Thank you, Edgeray.
yeah, Insure is a great resource, but also you guys don't forget about Kelly Brown. Kelly Brown is the person that's over all of the classified staff for technology. So if you are a parent facilitator, some are certified staff members and some are classified, you can definitely reach out to Kelly Brown. She's very, very responsive. If you are having more technical difficulties, we don't want to take away from Insure's job duties every day, because I'm telling you, that place has parents all day long. Every time I pop up over there, there's lots of parents there. So we don't want to burden her with a lot. I'm not saying you can't reach out to her, but we don't really want to burden her with a lot of the extra duties. This will be recorded. It won't take long for me to download it and get it out to you guys sometime this afternoon or this evening. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. But don't hang up just yet. I just want to go ahead and end the recording.